I gotta get out of the house less. My mom convinced me to go to this Christmas party at one of our neighbors' houses. It's just for people that live in our neighborhood. I think it's actually an official HOA event, but I don't know. Whatever, doesn't really matter. I didn't want to go, but my mom insisted. She said it would be fun for my baby cousin, and she needed me to go too, so I could help keep an eye on him. Because he's a toddler now, and he likes to run around and get into pretty much everything. And of course, she was doing the whole thing where she's like, I know you'll have a great time. It's going to be so much fun. When I'm pretty sure she knows by now that I usually do not have a great time when I go to these kind of things. But I ended up going anyways, just to help watch my cousin. I don't think I needed to be there. I think she could have handled him by herself. But whatever. I went. It sucked. Big time. I got accused of kidnapping my own cousin. Luckily, nobody called the cops, but it did almost get to that point. It came very close to that point, and I'll talk about that whole situation in a minute. But guess who else was there? Single mother. Single mother was there. She was there with her husband, who is supposedly abusive, but, who cares about that, I guess? Because apparently she's with him again. If you don't know, single mother is a woman that I met while I was out walking in the neighborhood, and my mom kind of tried to set us up, which kind of worked, I guess. I probably could have boinked her I know I could have. If I didn't just completely freeze up. She was in my bed with me, and she literally told me I could touch her if I wanted to. She was separated from her husband at the time, by the way. But I actually made a whole compilation video on that situation. If you really want to know all the details, it's not really that interesting. I just told you pretty much the whole story. But yeah, so she was there, and I hadn't even seen her since everything happened. So I wasn't really sure what her current situation was with her husband, or if she was even still living in this state. Because I thought maybe she had moved to go live with her sister in another state. But I saw her at this Christmas party. I saw her, and I'm pretty sure she saw me. I know she saw me. She definitely saw me. There's no way she didn't. But she didn't say anything to me. I didn't say anything to her. I don't know if her husband knows what I look like or what all he knows. Like, I don't know if he knows that she slept in my bed. I really have no idea. But honestly, I saw him. He's a little bit older. I'm pretty sure I would win that fight if it came to it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only person on this planet that I would fear in a physical altercation is Pearl Davis of Just Pearly Things. She's like 6'4", 265 pounds. If she was coming at me, I'd probably just run away screaming like a little girl. But that's neither here nor there. That would never happen, obviously. But single mother's husband is, he's no Pearl. He's older, smaller, weaker, and I'm pretty sure I could take him. I could take him if it came to it. But whatever, I don't care. I didn't even boink his wife. He may or may not think that I did, but I didn't. And I don't think he even knows what I look like anyways. So even if he saw me, or if he happens to see me sometime in the future when I'm taking a walk around the neighborhood, I don't think he'd try anything, because he probably wouldn't even know it's me. But yeah, so we had like a very minute moment of eye contact. I could tell she saw me, but she was obviously trying to act like she didn't see me. Then they left pretty much right after we got there. Or I actually just went to the bathroom right after I saw her. And you can say what you want, but I already have really bad anxiety. Like, I was already feeling anxious about just going to this party in the first place. So, yeah, I'm a coward. Yeah, I'm a coward. Whatever. I already know. But yeah, I pretty much just hid in the bathroom for about 15 minutes. Then by the time I came out, they had already left, which is perfect. Exactly what I was hoping would happen. I think my mom might have talked to her. I don't know. I didn't ask. I just think that she would have if she saw her. So they probably talked. I don't know. But yeah, that's all there is to say about that. Single mother was there. I mean, that's pretty much all I have about that. So when I came out of the bathroom, I guess my mom had gone out to the backyard, but I didn't know where she was. So I walked into the main living room area of this house and I sat on a couch in there because I'm not really trying to make small talk with these people. I don't know most of my neighbors. I recognized a few people there just from seeing them out in the neighborhood sometimes. And I'm sure most of them are nice people, but I just don't really like small talk. I don't understand it. I always make it very awkward, and it's just better for everybody if I just don't try. Because I just end up making other people feel awkward when I'm just standing there not saying anything. And sometimes I think people think that I'm being rude or something, or like I'm acting like I'm better than they are. But really, I'm just so shy that I don't know how to act like a normal person. So I just sat on the couch because there wasn't anybody else in the room at that time. So I thought, perfect. This is an empty room with an empty couch. I'm going to sit on the couch. Seemed like a good place to sit down. I probably should have just left, but I was supposed to be watching my cousin, I thought, but I didn't know where my mom went with him. I figured they'd come around in a few minutes. Like they were at the party somewhere, right? So maybe she had to change him or something, I was thinking. So yeah, I just sat there. And then after about a minute, not very long at all, like I was sitting in there for like 1 minute, my baby cousin came running into the room where I was. I was in there all alone. He came running in and he didn't even see me. So he was just running straight for this little Christmas tree they had. It was like a miniature Christmas tree with lights and ornaments and everything on it. So he ran up to that little tree, and I figured my mom had to be nearby somewhere. But I guess she was outside, actually. And she had asked some random lady that was there at the party to watch my cousin, which she obviously wasn't doing too good a job of, this random lady, because he just came charging into the room all by himself, and I didn't see her, this random lady, for like 2 full minutes after that. So who knows what she was doing? She was probably busy just staring at the ceiling fan, drooling, if I had to guess. But yeah, 2 minutes, it's not a long time. But when we're talking about a toddler here, 2 minutes is more than enough time for him to do some damage. He definitely could have broke something in that amount of time. So she should have been watching him a lot better than she was. But as it turns out, this random lady is a total freaking moron. Okay, so my cousin charges into the room and he runs up to this little Christmas tree. So I went over and I knelt down beside him to make sure he didn't knock anything over or anything. So he was just looking at the lights and touching the branches or whatever. It was a fake tree, but yeah, so he started to try to pull off one of the ornaments. It was an owl ornament. So as soon as he saw it, he started hooting. He was like, hoo hoo. And he was pointing at it, looking at me, then pointing at the owl for me to see. And he hoot hoot. He likes owl. He likes, pretty much any different kind of animal. He just likes to make the sound. But anyways, I was just like, yep, that's an owl. And then he smacked it real good. You know, he smacked this owl ornament and he grunted like, ugh, as he smacked it, which is something he likes to do sometimes. You know, he's just playing around. That's just what he does. Nothing unusual. But this is somebody else's house. I don't want him accidentally breaking anything or knocking this tree over or anything like that. So I started to pick him up, and he didn't want to be picked up. So he started screaming, and he did the thing where he just went totally limp, and he tried to lay down flat on the floor to prevent me from picking him up. Which again, all of this is normal. This is all completely normal behavior. That's just what he does when he doesn't want me to stop him from doing something. So I know how to handle these situations. So I just scooped him up off the floor and I stood up with him, and he was fussing with me. He was trying to squirm out of my arms and he smacked me in the face. No big deal. This is all normal. Well, I look over and there's a lady standing there in the doorway. And as soon as I looked over at her, she was like, "Hey, who are you?" And I was confused because she sounded mad. At first, I thought she was mad about my baby cousin touching the Christmas tree, but I wish that's what it was. So she was like, "Hey, who are you?" So I just said, well, I told her my name. And she just said something like, "Okay, well, put that baby down. He doesn't want you holding him." So I said, and he was still squirming and scratching at my face and everything while this was going on. So, you know, it was already kind of a frustrating situation. But yeah, so I just said, "I don't want him to knock the tree over." Then she was like, "Okay, well, I don't know who you are, so you need to hand him over to me." And she came up holding her hands out for me to hand him over. And I was like, "No, he's fine." Because I had no idea who this woman was. I didn't know that my mom had asked her to watch him. So to me, you know, I was just like, who is this random woman? Like, what does she think she's doing? I'm in charge of this baby, not her. Like, it was so confusing. And also, when she came up like that with her hands stretched out, like reaching for me to hand him over, he stopped fighting immediately. He stopped squirming around and he just hugged my neck and he like put his head against my chest and he started gripping my shirt with his hands, that's what he does when he doesn't want me to hand him over to someone. Because he does that all the time whenever my aunt wants to hold him, basically, because he really doesn't like my aunt for whatever reason. So it was obvious from like the way he was acting that he wanted me, like it was obvious that I'm his caretaker. Like, you know what I mean? He was like hugging me. But yeah, so I obviously was not going to hand him over to this random lady. But then she started, like, she just went completely off the rails. At that point, she was like, "You need to put that baby down right now." And she yelled out someone's name. I think it was like the name of the person that lives there. And there was a couple people that had come to see what was going on by that point. There was a couple more people in the room. So she yelled out someone's name like, "Deborah, come here." Then she asked these other people that had come in there if any of them knew who I was. And it was like two people in there, and they were both just like, "No." And by the way, I found out later that this lady doesn't even live in our neighborhood. She's just friends with the hosts or something. So that's why she was there. But she pulled out her phone and like, I swear to God, this shit just escalated. Like, it escalated in an instant. It was crazy. Like, she was freaking the fuck out. She was really freaking out. So she pulled out her phone and she was like, "Last chance, put that baby down or I'm calling the law." That's what she said, calling the law. You know, she's one of those people. And said, "You can just say you're calling the cops, you're calling the police. I'm calling the law. Put that baby down or I'm calling the law." I mean, I don't know if she thinks that makes it sound like more serious or whatever. I don't know. But that's what she said. And I really wonder what everyone else was thinking watching all this happen. I do think, just from the way, like, the looks on everyone's faces, I think everyone else was thinking pretty much the same thing I was. You know, they were all thinking, like, what the hell is with this lady? Because if anyone actually thought that I was a kidnapper, I think somebody probably would have tried to do something other than just telling me to put the baby down. I don't know. That's just, yeah, that's just what I think. But yeah, I was just standing there holding my cousin, and he was clinging on to me like a baby sloth or something. I really don't think I looked guilty, but I am bald. That might have had something to do with it. So yeah, she threatened to call the cops, and I just said, for what? Because obviously I wasn't doing anything wrong. So she just said, put that baby down. Put him down. You know, she just kept saying, put him down. And she's holding her phone in her hand. I don't know if she actually was ever going to call the cops, because I don't think that, it's hard to believe she actually thought that I was, I guess, trying to abduct him. I don't really know. I don't really know. And, you know, a lot of this is my mom's fault, because she just asked this completely random crazy lady to watch my cousin because, you know, she wanted to go see the neighbor's pergola. It's, you know, that's what it was. Could have waited for me to come out of the bathroom, or she could have called me or something. But yeah, anyways. So this crazy lady's threatening to call the cops on me. She's got her phone out. She's got, put him down, put that baby down. Then finally, the lady that actually lives there came in, and she was like, what's going on in here? And I just looked at her and shrugged my shoulders because I didn't know what was going on. So the crazy lady asked the lady that lives there, do you know that man? And the lady that lives there said, well, let's just say that my mom's name is Margaret. That's not actually her name, but let's say for the sake of this story, my mom's name is Margaret. The lady that lives there said, yeah, that's Margaret's son. And you could just see the look on this psychopath's face as she slowly realized, like, it slowly dawned on her that, oh, that guy is related to this baby. Maybe he actually has every right in the world to hold the baby. And actually, I think she might have thought I was actually the baby's dad at that point, because my mom usually just tells people that she's his grandmother just because it's easier than explaining the whole story about how she ended up with custody as his great aunt or whatever. But yeah, I forget exactly what all she said, but she didn't even apologize. She didn't even apologize after all this. The lady that lives there and her husband, they both apologized profusely. They apologized to me a lot. But the crazy lady was just like, I remember at first she said something like, well, you should have just said that. All you had to do was say that you're Margaret's son. And I was just like, I have no idea who you are. Like, I had no idea what you were even talking about. You know, because really, I had no way of knowing that this lady even knew my mom, which she actually didn't, I guess, because my mom did say that she just met this lady that night. And I guess what happened was this lady offered to watch my cousin while my mom walked with one of the other neighbors over to this other neighbor's house to see their new pergola. I don't know. I don't know why my mom would leave him with some random lady like that. I mean, fair enough in a sense. I was hiding in the bathroom at the time. So, in a sense, I understand, I wasn't around. But also, she should have told the lady that I was there at the party so she wouldn't freak out when she sees some ugly bald man trying to pick him up. Or really, better yet, my mom should have just called me or she should have just waited for me to come out of the bathroom before she left. I know that I wouldn't leave him with a person that I just met. I would never even dream of doing that. Especially if that person offered to watch him. Like that should ring every alarm in your brain. That's a huge red flag. If somebody you just met 5 minutes ago is offering to watch your baby for you, that should be a sign that maybe this person isn't someone you can trust. And she truthfully wasn't even doing a good job of watching him because she was 2 full minutes behind him entering the living room. So who knows what she was even doing? And if I hadn't been sitting in there already, he almost definitely would have knocked the Christmas tree over. And it's not like the main Christmas tree. It was just like a little miniature Christmas tree. But you still, it had ornaments on it. So I think that's like, sharp hooks, unless they were just like loops. I don't really know. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, she wasn't watching him very good. He could have broke something. He could have hurt himself. So I don't know what my mom was thinking. And I don't know what this crazy moron lady was thinking either. But yeah, after everything got resolved, I guess the homeowner called my mom. So then my mom came back to the party. She was just like 2 houses over at this other neighbor's house. And I was just sitting there eating cookies and pigs in a blanket because the couple that lives there, they were very apologetic. They're nice people. I had met them once before. They were like, "We're so sorry. Please have some snacks. We are so sorry. Have a drink. Have some pigs in a blanket." She's usually not like that, I think she just got confused. She didn't know who you were. She just got confused. She's usually not like that. They were trying to make excuses for this lady. I don't know their relationship. I don't know if they might be related or maybe this is a friend of theirs. I really don't know. I didn't ask. Don't really care. But these, the people that lived there, they were apologizing for her. She didn't even apologize. It wasn't their fault though. Unless they know that she's like straight out the loony bin and they invite, if that's the case, maybe it is kind of their fault, but I don't know. I felt like they didn't really need to apologize. I wasn't mad at them. It just, I honestly think this crazy lady might actually be crazy because it's like, I was at the party and my cousin was literally clinging to me when she tried to take him from me. So that should have been a pretty clear sign that he must know me. And the thing is, too, she never explained herself. Like, she just kept yelling at me to put him down. And I'm just like, why? Why does she want me to put him down? At first, I thought that she thought I was hurting him somehow because he was fighting with me. So I can almost understand that, just like as an initial reaction, because he was squirming, he was scratching at my face, as he does. But after he like hugged my neck and he was like gripping my shirt with both hands, and also just from how I was reacting to everything she said, like, I'm pretty sure I looked confused as, like, imagine if, I don't know, Sydney Sweeney walked up to me and she was just like, "Come with me. I want you to boink my brains out right now." That's how confused I probably looked. So she should have been able to read the situation and see that, okay, it seems like this man must have some sort of relation to this toddler. He's clinging to the man's chest like a baby sloth clinging to its mother. Maybe I'm the one that's acting out of line here. But I guess she never thought about, the scene she was witnessing right in front of her own eyes. She just, I don't know. She's probably one of those women that listens to true crime podcasts all day. So her brain is just primed to view every man as a serial killer, child abductor, or whatever. Because she was very quick to, like, the escalation was insane. At first, she was just like, "Hey, who are you?" And she did say it rudely, but it took about 15 seconds for that to escalate into full-on yelling and threatening to call the cops. Like, did she think that a random man from off the streets just walked into this random Christmas party at a random house in a pretty nice neighborhood, by the way? Not the type of neighborhood where something like that you would think would happen. None of it makes sense. Whatever she was thinking, it just doesn't make any sense. I obviously was a guest at the party. I'm pretty sure I looked like I belonged there. Probably, you know what it was? I think my mistake was I had took my hat off when I got there, because I know it's not actually rude or anything, but I was taught as a kid to take my hat off whenever I went indoors. So I still do that, but maybe I should stop. Because I think having a weird shaped bald head makes people think I'm a fucking villain. That's probably why she just assumed that I'm some kind of kidnapper or something, instead of just a guest at the party that obviously has some sort of relationship to this toddler. I was wearing an LL Bean flannel shirt, by the way. A pretty nice shirt. Very Christmas party coded attire. Like, other than my bad guy bald head, I think I probably look like I belong there. Or who knows? Maybe the lady really is just a total lunatic. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered how much hair I had. I really, who knows? But yeah, I think I'm done going to any kind of social gathering other than maybe things with family from here on out. Because family events are bad enough, but at least I can be pretty sure nobody's going to accuse me of kidnapping. And I also probably need to have a talk with my mom about leaving the baby with random strangers. Although, maybe she learned her lesson. But she didn't really need to go see the neighbor's pergola anyways. And I can appreciate a nice pergola. Pergolas can be nice. It adds some shade or whatever, looks nice, really pulls a yard together. A pergola can turn a regular backyard into an enchanted garden. But also, it's just a fucking pergola. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. There's not that many differences in different pergolas. So, call me crazy, but in my opinion, you shouldn't just leave a child who is supposed to be under your care with some random strange woman you just met 5 minutes ago, just to go see your neighbor's pergola that they probably just built from one of those kits at Home Depot. Whoop-de-freaking-do, you have the same pergola in your backyard as everybody else that shops at Home Depot. Big deal. It's not that impressive. Maybe that's why I'm such a social outcast, because I don't care about going to look at my neighbor's pergola. I don't know. Is it me that's broken, or is it the rest of society? I honestly don't know at this point. And another thing, I guess I just don't really get it. A pergola is nice and everything in the summer, or say in the spring or the summer on a nice day. Sure. Okay. Cool. A pergola is a nice feature to have in your backyard. But then it rains and it's oh, now I bet you wish you built something with an actual fucking roof instead of this dumb, retarded ass pergola. Idiot. But no, seriously, I like pergolas. They're fine. Whatever. I actually do like them. I think they look nice sometimes. I don't think they're very functional for anything, but whatever. So please watch some of my other videos if you want to help me out. And I guess maybe I do need to be helped out more these days, because at the rate things are going, if I keep leaving the house, I'm going to end up in some kind of legal battle about something. I'm innocent and I'm going to remain innocent. I'm not going to do anything bad, but I'm going to end up somehow being accused of something and having to defend myself in court. So seriously, please watch some of my other videos. I need it. Okay? That helps me out. Or you can like this video, you can subscribe to the channel, whatever. Who cares? Whatever, it doesn't even matter. But thank you for watching. I'm going to bed.